All right, good day. This transmission is titled Reflections. We have realized of late that many people on your planet, when we talk about the concept that everyone is a reflection for everyone else, have a misunderstanding of this concept. For many people on your planet have thought that when they attract someone into their lives, that the issues that that person brings with them is a one-to-one direct reflection of the issues in the person who has attracted them. And this is not necessarily the case. When we talk about the idea that everyone is a reflection for everyone else, there are many ways in which to understand the concept of someone being a reflection for you. Because you can ask, a reflection of what? Reflection doesn't mean like a mirror that you're seeing exactly in them what you contain. Now, it's always a wise decision to look at what people bring into your life, what you have attracted both in people and in circumstances into your life, and to determine whether or not there is some advice or information that you can apply to yourself in this scenario that you've attracted that would help you improve yourself, better yourself, transform yourself. It is always wise to be humble enough to know that there may be information for you in what you have attracted that can help you change in a way that will allow you to be more complete, more fully representative of your true self. At the same time, if you can determine with honest self-investigation that the situation or person you have attracted in your life that seems to have certain kinds of fear-based or negative issues or things that don't necessarily seem to be relevant for you immediately can still be a reflection of your willingness to be of service and assistance to someone else, by helping them understand that there may be another way, another path, an alternative method, or other information they have not considered that can help them make the changes they need to make in their lives. So the idea is to understand that when we talk about everyone being a reflection for everyone else, we don't mean that what they have is necessarily what you have. A reflection can still be indicative of your willingness to be of assistance, to be a guide, to be of help in some way, shape, or form, to provide alternative ideas, helpful ideas, tools that they may not have considered, to help them change in the ways that will allow them to bring through more of who they truly are and to align with their higher minds. So please understand that the idea of reflection is multidimensional, and you have to have the honest self-investigation to be able to tell whether or not the people that come into your lives are actually reflective of something you need to know, or whether it is simply reflective of your willingness to be of service to them in some way, shape, or form. So we thank you for allowing us to clarify this idea of what it means for everyone to be a reflection of everyone else. And we ask you now, in what way may we continue to be of service to you? Please begin with your dialogues and your questions if you wish.
Dear Bashar, good afternoon. This is Alexandra from the UK, and my question is simple. I have a difficulty to get over the challenge of feeling unworthy. It is with guilt. It has been my best friend since a long time. So I know I've followed you a while now, and I know that you say, what do we benefit from having these things hanging over us? And I cannot find the answer in me. So am I lying to myself, or is it a blind spot? And I thought, Bashar is so wonderful, maybe he will know. Thank you in advance. Bye-bye.
Well, the idea again is that you don't hold on to anything that you don't believe you're getting something out of. So what benefits do you believe you're getting by holding on to guilt? Guilt, in a sense, like anger, when it's in its natural form, is simply a mechanism that exists within you to let you know when you might be out of integrity, out of alignment with your true vibration. That recognition is enough to allow you to then decide, all right, I'm going to choose to bring myself back into alignment. I'm going to change my behaviors, my beliefs, my actions, whatever, that will allow you to bring yourself back into alignment. But the idea of continuing to feel guilt or anger is then the continuance into self-judgment, finding yourself undeserving, unworthy, simply because you allowed the mechanism to inform you when you were out of alignment, and now you are in recrimination and self-judgment about having been out of alignment instead of bringing yourself back into alignment. So people that spend time in guilt, wallowing in self-pity, are getting something out of it. Otherwise, they wouldn't continue to do so. So you may be afraid of realigning yourself because that may seem scarier than simply wallowing in something so familiar as guilt, which gives you attention and allows you to play the victim. So the idea is to let go of victimization and victimhood and allow yourself to move forward using guilt and anger as a mechanism to simply inform you when you have been out of alignment, and then have the ability to bring yourself and the willingness to bring yourself back into alignment and use guilt in a positive way and anger in a positive way, rather than simply continuing to wallow in it because you're afraid to move forward. Good
Ooh,
day.
how exciting. Thank you, Bashar, for this perfect reflection
All
for
right. Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
So I am understanding more how everything is my reflection, and it's this beautiful dance between illusion and truth, and everything is just source energy working in harmony just to show me what needs to be realigned. I feel that the subconscious belief barriers that I'm working with are mostly with powerlessness, and I'm I'm wondering with if my vibrational signature, what is reflecting that's creating my dog's reflection towards my daughter. Um, if you could alliterate that.
You will have to be more specific.
She was kind of getting a little bit aggressive with her. So I was wondering what was it within me that was creating that experience?
It may not be within you. It may be within your daughter.
Oh, okay.
How
So
old is your daughter?
she's almost 10 months.
All right. Well, the dog may be exhibiting the idea of the introduction of a new family member, finding it to be uncomfortable since the dog does not necessarily understand where the dog fits into what you may consider to be your family pack. So if you can explain with imagery telepathically to the dog that the position of the dog has not been usurped, that the dog can allow itself to understand the position it occupies in the family pack, then it can settle down and accept the new member as not being someone who will replace the dog in terms of the dog's natural position in your pack.
Okay, thank you. And just through telepathic imagery.
Through imagery, you can reassure the dog by having the image of everyone being in harmony in the pack and everyone being in their proper position and not being left out in any way, shape, or form.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Um, I was wondering also, with my cat who recently transitioned to spirit world, what was my reflection to her and vice versa?
Well, again, you need to be very specific because cats usually represent your ability to stretch your senses into the spirit world, to see things more holographically and multidimensionally as they perceive things. So can you say that the cat did that for you, that you were able to use the cat's energy and perspective to explore the idea of your own spirituality and extend your senses in multidimensional ways?
Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder.
All right.
um, again, with reflections, I was curious as to rituals that I've been performing, aka permission slips. When I'm doing these rituals, am I reflecting to myself, like a process to center myself, or am I actually invoking these spirits? I guess I just need to know.
Well, again, it depends upon what you believe you're using the ritual for. It can
Yeah.
be in either direction, and it can be both, because beings are paying attention to what you're doing. If you are using it because your belief system says you need that particular permission slip to increase your ability to perceive communication from the spirits, then that is what it will be for. If you are using it to center yourself, that is what it will be for, because it's up to you to determine what it is you're using any permission slip for. And it can be both simultaneously, because centering yourself can make you more receptive to communication from spirits as well.
Okay. Thank you. I just that rang true. Thank you.
All right.
During one of these rituals, I felt these spider webs kind of go around me. Maybe I'm delusional, but was that real, or it was during a
It may have been contact by a spirit. Sometimes the electromagnetic energy is a very light form of physical materiality and can feel like a gossamer web brushing across you. So it can simply be the effect of a spirit, in a sense, touching you, and you being sensitive enough to feel the very light material that spirits are using to create a connection to physical reality.
That's exciting. I've been playing with uh, a being who's located within the earth, and I just wanted clarification if
Do
that
you
was.
mean in another dimension?
Yeah, my process is how I do it is I kind of go into the earth and I bring her flowers every time. So I was just wondering if that was like a real being or part of myself.
Well, anything is a part of yourself, because remember, you're creating your version out of your own energy to interact with anything. It doesn't mean that another being is not real, even though you're creating your version of it. But what you're interacting with is your version of it, and interacting with the other being through your version of it. Our sense is telling us that what you're doing is interacting with an elemental.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love it. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
When I'm feeling these presences at nighttime, I feel them more at nighttime, and it kind of gives this fearness. Anyways, I was just wondering, am I feeling them physically or am I feeling them telepathically?
You are feeling them energetically, because again, the idea is exposure to the energy of a different level of reality can bring things up within you that you haven't integrated, and that may be where the fear is coming from. We are going to talk more about this kind of interaction and humanity's reaction to it in some of the upcoming transmissions in your November and December months.
Yay. Thank you. The hybrid in my last sorry. There was this creature in the ocean after a comet went through, and me and my cousin Shane, it was a few years ago in May, I believe, in the summer, a comet went through, and then there was
You mean pass through your solar system?
Yes. But then there was like this weird creature in the ocean that was kind of luring my dog into the water.
What are you describing as a weird creature?
It was just scary, I guess. And it was like, had like a long tentacle. So it seemed very prehistoric to me. Maybe it wasn't what I.
So when you say luring your dog, you simply mean the dog was interested in it?
Well, my fear popped up thinking that it was luring it into the water to eat it, but that could have just been my fear.
It was just your fear.
Okay. Thank you.
There are collections of certain kinds of small microorganisms that can actually bond together to form long worm-like, tentacle-like structures.
Oh, how interesting. Thank you. In our last communication, you told me about these hybrid children that were interacting with moving the stroller. And I was wondering, are those same hybrid children, are they older now or are they children still?
In a sense, they are older, but again, remember, the time for them is not what it is for you. They can interact with you throughout different ages of their being. So in one moment, they may be the younger versions, and in another moment, they may be the older versions.
Yes.
You
Okay.
cannot
Okay.
necessarily compare directly their ages to your reality until such time as they actually come to live among you physically. And then their ages will, in a sense, be locked or frozen into how they appear to you when they come to live in your reality, because they will have made a shift into your vibrational reality, and it will freeze them at a particular age that is appropriate for them and for the relationship they will need to have with you. So even if they, when they freeze into your physical reality, so to speak, appear to be young, it may have been that you interacted with an older version of them when they were in their reality too. So you can't necessarily rely on how they appear in your reality for how they were being in their reality.
Understandably. I hugged the air, when that had happened. Was I hugging a hybrid?
You were making a gesture that was received as a form of connection or hug, if you wish, but you were not literally doing so.
You probably thought it was so weird. So this might be a silly question, but my daughter obviously probably has connections with the hybrid children as well.
Yes.
So I was just wondering what her part in the hybrid agenda is and how I could support her with it.
Well, she will be obviously of a generation that will be alive when the hybrid children come to live among you. So many of the children that are young today on your planet will be those who will have specific relationships and interactions with their brothers and sisters and cousins in the hybrid children community when they come to live in the sanctuaries on the earth.
Beautiful. I had a miscarriage in 2016 and I spoke with that soul. I was wondering if she was that same soul.
In a manner of speaking, yes, but she is more than that now.
Perfect. How many times have I been pregnant and successful with a hybrid child?
I am not allowed to tell you that.
That's okay. I can't help but ask. How can we reflect better questions to utilize our interactions with you to the fullest of our capabilities?
Follow the formula. You will be inspired to know what you need to know and to ask what you need to ask in the proper timing.
Thank you, Bashar.
The circumstances and situations that will synchronistically crop up in your life will give you the ability to know what subjects are important for you to talk about at any particular moment that you may be interacting with us.
Wonderful. I just wanted to make sure that we were still up to the standards.
There are no standards that you need to achieve other than being yourself.
Thank you for the reminder. And thank you for this beautiful reflection. Perfectly.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so. Aveo.
Aveo.
We will now allow you to allow yourselves to relax. Breathe deeply. Breathe easily. If you are going to bring up any kind of imagery or music, you can do so to accompany what we are about to say. Allow yourselves to imagine, while breathing easily in a relaxed way, that you are at the center of a hall of mirrors, like in one of your amusement parks. And you allow yourself to see all the reflections in the mirrors around you, seeing yourself from all sorts of different angles, different perspectives. The front of yourself, the sides of yourself, the backs of yourself, even the top and the bottom of yourself. Seeing yourself from every angle possible. There are mirrors all around above you, below you, all around you. In this case, however, you recognize that all of the reflections are actually conscious, self-aware, different versions of you within you that express the idea of different perspectives, different themes, different explorations of your being, different aspects of your creativity, of your manifestations, but that from time to time, different people will come in and take their place so that they will look different than you look, but still reflect to you what you need to know to be more of yourself, as you then reflect to them what they need to know to be more of themselves. But it comes with the understanding that it isn't always a one-to-one reflection, that what those other beings and other people bring when they take the place of your reflections and look different than your reflections and carry with them their own issues are not necessarily reflecting to you the issues you have within yourself. As you continue to breathe deeply, you're willing to absorb whatever information and advice this reflection may have for you that would be beneficial for you to apply to yourself, to change yourself, to uplift yourself, to raise your vibration with, to incorporate within your being that would aid and assist you in being more of who you truly are. Your willingness to do that is front and center. At the same time, you do not have the assumption necessarily, after exploring yourself with honesty, that that is necessarily a reflection that you need to understand, and it may be that these beings, taking the place of your reflections in the Hall of Mirrors, are bringing to you a reflection of your willingness to reflect to them what they need to know, what they need to understand, that will help them in choosing different paths, different ways of understanding themselves, so that in their reflections, they can learn to be more of who and what they are. A reflection isn't the same as the idea of a glass mirror in this context. It is a reflection of your willingness to be of service, to be of help, to be of benefit to others by reflecting to them what they need to know, to make themselves whole, to understand themselves from a different perspective, to give them the gift of a different path, a different idea, a different choice, an alternative that they may not have considered, that allows them to function more holistically, even as they may allow you to function more holistically by giving you the opportunity to be of service, to give them gifts that they may require. So never assume that just because you attract someone that seems vibrationally incompatible with you, that it is a direct reflection of any kind of lack of integrity or out of alignment in you. At first, be humble enough to assume that it may have a message for you, but if you have, with your honest self-investigation, determined that that is not the case, then be willing to receive the reflection as your willingness to be of service to them, to reflect to them what they need to know, so they can be more whole, in the same way that you are willing to be more whole, more truly yourself in this life, to raise your vibration and be the being that you were created to be. At your core, in your essence, in your heart of hearts, in your knowingness. Take a deep breath in and allow all these reflections all around you, above and below you, to give you what you need so that you may reflect back to the reflections what they need to be more holistic aspects of creation, more holistic reflections of all that is, so that you can all be the puzzle pieces you were made to be in the shape you were made, so that you will all fit together to create the whole picture that can support all the pieces, so that all the reflections harmonize with the validation of the individuality in each. That is the true essential self at your core. Breathe it in and crystallize it and make it your own. Continue to breathe. Relax into this. Accept it with willingness, with excitement, with creativity and imagination and inspiration. And be the gift that you were made to be. And receive the gifts that you are willing to receive that will help you become more of who you are, so you can become a living example to others, that they can be more of who they are as well. Be of service in this way. Give the gifts you have to give, for there is someone waiting to receive them. Our unconditional love to you all. We welcome you home. Aveo. Good day.